Hi, as we understood, there are three key categories in terms of allocating the 5G spectrum and precisely for private 5G. One is the licensed spectrum band, which is widely being given to the MNOs, mobile network operators. And the another is a shared access between the MNOs as well as the private 5G players. And third is an unlicensed band where we need to go to the regulatory and get it. It is a self-managed kind of spectrum. Globally, there are different spectrum bands that are available for 5G, and we can see that what are the different categories for the licensed band. So widely, if you see the in a lower frequency band, which is less than 1 gigahertz, these frequency bands are basically widely being used for the licensed band by MNOs to provide the coverage in case of 5G. And simultaneously, there is a FR2 frequency range 2 where we have a bigger chunks of spectrum that is available to provide the better capacity. But this is widely being used by the MNOs for public 5G. Now, in case of private 5G, widely that is being used or that will be used would be the shared 5G spectrum. Now, this shared 5G spectrum, normally what will happen in case, say for example, in case of UK, this particular spectrum 3.4 to 3.8 gigahertz, that is actually is a spectrum which is being used by MNOs as well as for the as well as by the private 5G players. So majority of the chunk here would be, say for example, this is around zero point 0.4 gigahertz. So majority of that, say for example, 0.3 gigahertz would be used by the MNOs, but rest 0.1 gigahertz will be used by the private 5G player. In that case, the regulatory, which is Ofcom, would have some arrangement in that case to ensure that there is a shared access spectrum band which will be used precisely for private 5G, and we'll talk about that. So that is how the arrangement would be in place for having a shared access for private 5G in that case. They have some kind of restrictions in terms of a transmission power for the sites for private 5G player within this shared access. Apart from the shared access, we have an unlicensed band where the private 5G player need not to have a kind of allocation from the regulatory. But as this is open for everyone to use, there is a high chance of interference in these bands. So these are widely allocated across or being used across 5 gigahertz, 6 gigahertz, or 60 gigahertz. So across the globe, different countries are using the different kind of spectrum bands for shared access and for licensed access. And we'll see that this is going to change with time, and we'll see some evolution happening maybe across the different spectrum bands and the ranges in terms of private 5G going forward.